We're doing
We're putting this in.
We're putting this in, dummy.
You're recording, right?
Yeah, we're always recording here.
Yeah.
That was my segue into the close, out of the interview.
Oh, the interview.
Oh.
We normally don't
Is
do
that
that.
what that was?
but
Oh.
Yeah, it was.
That's what it was.
And you're too dense to pick it up. Damn it.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Curling Nation Season 2, Episode 10.
10? Holy shit.
4 out of 5 ain't bad. Today on the show, we have
R.I.P.
Shannon Birchard.
Burchard.
Birchard.
Yeah. I've heard Vic did differently on
Well, Vic doesn't always get
but
it right.
it's Vic.
Does get it right.
We got Shannon Birchard, 4-time Scotties champion, current 3-time Scotties
Three-time reigning.
3-time reigning.
3 times
4 out
in
of
a
the
row.
last 5.
4 of the last 5.
Hence the show title.
Hence the
Three-peat.
showdown. Pretty good.
It's like the Michael Jordan of Scotties.
I'm Joel Leeds.
I'm Mike.
Craig.
Not Craig.
I couldn't even think of anything funny to say that I was sad.
That's why we're on the internet.
Yep. Thank you.
Updates. Italy won mixed doubles
Yeah.
in
Bellissimo.
in dominating fashion.
Yeah, undefeated. I don't think anybody. I guarantee
Nobody.
we could go back to our shows and guarantee nobody picked that.
Nope.
Nobody in the world picked that to happen.
And when this comes out, the Olympics will be
Even
over.
their mothers didn't pick them to go undefeated.
Oh, not to go undefeated.
Even to win.
Not even the super fans, I don't think, would have picked them.
Fantastic though. They were
Good
so
for them.
exciting to watch. Like I don't like mixed doubles in general.
either.
But like the event was all right. You know, it was I don't know, it's just a random crapshoot of curling stuff that's happening out there, but
That's what makes it exciting, I think.
yeah, for some people. But no, they played fantastic. Like
They did.
fantastico. Was that an
They did.
Italian word?
Maybe.
You need to do
sort of.
this, like if it.
Pronto.
There you
Bus.
go. Any
That's
other-
the spicy meatball.
No. I had to go there.
I don't even
That
know
was
what that
awful.
means.
Yeah,
Really?
Is that from a commercial?
No, I don't think so.
I thought it was from a commercial.
it could have been.
Well, if I just slandered the Italian people in some
think it
way
was
that I
like
didn't know about, I apologize.
No, that's fine.
All right.
It was just
Yeah.
dumb.
They played great.
They did.
It's fun to watch them, and I'm happy for them.
Olympics are going to be over by the time this comes
We
out.
done?
So,
Congratulations.
congratulations, team,
Insert name here.
and team insert name here. Congratulations to them,
Boy, those women played fantastic,
They
didn't
did.
Yes.
as did the
The men's final
team.
was riveting.
Best game ever.
It came down to the last shot of the game.
Don't miss it. Watch
right.
it on
Yeah.
replay if you have
Let's
to.
talk about the commentary has been sketchy at best.
Yeah. So I listened to one of Tyler George's games.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good.
I thought Ty. I haven't heard a lot of Ty. I thought he did pretty good. I haven't heard a lot of Jamie. I thought she did really well. I sent
I've
her a
heard-
note.
I've heard one game of each, and
Very
both of
good.
them have been pretty good.
I haven't watched a lot of the replays. I watched it live. And
The
unless
live,
it's been the midnight games.
the live ones are weird because
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Kevin Martin records the games live, but Peacock does not broadcast the games live. They broadcast a different feed,
Yeah.
not his audio feed.
Yeah. Yeah, the Scottish guy or the Irish guy or the whoever is
British
doing-
dude.
British
The-
dude.
The footballer
Yeah.
announcer.
It's
What the
like
hell?
I said to somebody today, it's like watching NASCAR. It's like you're just waiting for him to wreck. And that's what I find entertaining. Like I know what's going on, and I don't think he's trying, but I don't think he really knows.
The-
He doesn't have any
Completely.
idea what's going
Completely.
on. No,
He was
early
but
on.
he's like, I think he's trying, and he's
Yeah.
like, I give him credit for that. He's getting paid,
Entertaining.
yo.
He was given a pamphlet right before the game saying, here's curling. Here's a microphone. Go.
I like when he says they're rolling this one.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna roll this one past the guard.
And they're going to go for a 2-pointer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
They scored a 2-pointer.
Whatever. No, some of the even some of the people who know about curling, not my favorite commentators right now listening to that, but
It's all good.
Luke Coley's my man, though.
I like Luke Coley.
Luke's my guy.
I haven't heard. Is Sander doing some games? Sander Rolvig?
I think that's him, yes.
I like him too.
Because he's a Norwegian guy who sounds like he's Scottish.
He does do a very good Scottish accent. So
that's just where he learned how to speak English, and
really?
that's why he speaks that way. That's what I was told.
Nice.
Is that's how he learned to speak English was in Scotland.
I like him. I like him too.
He's
but
good.
I've not heard any of his games. And there's
Anyway.
Anyway.
Also, it's kind of hard to tell who's doing commentary because the games I've seen, they don't announce
They don't.
who's doing it. If it's not Kevin Martin
Maybe it's intentional.
and the main crew,
I can pick Ty out too.
I can pick Ty out. I can pick Jamie out. But other than that, I don't know who's doing it. They don't announce who's doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's intentional.
I've seen a couple games with no commentary at all, which I kind of
Rookie.
Yeah, last night on Peacock,
Huh.
women's U.S. game had no commentary.
Somebody slept
I
through
believe.
their shift or something.
I've seen two different draws for sure now that had no commentary, and I kind of enjoy that because then you hear everything that the players say. There's never an announcer talking over them.
There's a
Now, granted, half the time you can't understand them because
think-
it's a different language, and
sure.
we're not well enough versed in other
I
languages
I
to.
don't know anything outside of American. I mean, I pick up bits and pieces of
Pronto.
yeah. Due.
Pizza.
I think that's a two.
Buongiorno, Miguel.
Come on, man.
I'm still in my celebrating Italy mood.
I guess so.
You could go back a couple episodes and listen to the episode with Yama and learn some Japanese.
Learn a little Japanese. Probably not. But there'd be no Japanese. Oh, I guess if you're watching a Fujisawa game.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Your predictions stink because Dean's already in the playoffs. You predicted he wasn't going to get there.
Yeah, but
That's okay. He could still not win anything.
he could still not
If it
win
was the
anything.
semifinal
And I've got
there's-
every other team that I picked is still in the mix.
There you
so
go. Perfect. Way to go. Gold star for you.
So suck it. Every single one,
Fair.
even my Canada out of the playoffs in women is still on the
possible.
table.
It's
on the
possible.
table.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to happen. We'll find out.
There you go.
We already found out 7 days ago when this comes out, but
We will find out eventually.
3, but sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all right. It's all good.
Yep. It's good.
all right.
Okay.
All right. Now let's bring in three-time
Three-time
Four-time.
reigning.
three-time
reigning.
reigning, 4-time champion, Shannon Birchard.
All right, everybody. We're joined again today with another neighbor from the north. Recently crowned 4-time Scotties champion. What else?
3 times
3 times in a row.
3 times in a row. with Carrie.
What else? Most importantly, she's the share to my Sonny. I don't know what else. We sang Love Shack together at the Madtown Double Down a couple years ago. Welcome to the show, Shannon Birchard. How are you today, Shannon?
I'm doing good. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank you. 4-time Scotties champion. How does that feel?
It's pretty cool. It's a little bit unbelievable because I don't think I ever saw myself at this point in my career here. So I think it's a little shocking to me. And so I don't quite believe it yet. And I'm just super grateful to be in this position and to be on.
That's got to be a
such an
pretty
awesome
small
team.
club.
Yeah, I don't. How many? Do you know how many
Ask her.
teams have won 3 times in a row off the top of your head?
I think we're the 4th team that's done it. So I think like back in 60s, 70s, it was Vera Pesser, and then Colleen Jones, and then Jen Jones did it as well.
Jen Jones did it as well.
She won 3 in a row too, huh? So all right,
I think
and then
Colleen has 4 in a row, which that is
Oh.
wild.
well,
You can do it next year.
do it next year. Piece of cake.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why not. You won 3, you might as well win a 4th. So, and then you won with Jones in 18 as well. And you were playing third?
Yeah, I was playing third. I was stepping in for Caitlin.
And who won in 19 then? The 1 year that you, because it seems like it's your title.
Was that
So who stole your
Chelsea
title for
Carey?
a season?
Chelsea Carey?
Chelsea Carey actually
Yeah,
won
Chelsea.
that year.
Okay.
Yeah, we lost the wild card play-in game, so we didn't play in the Scotties that year.
Well, no wonder you didn't win the whole thing because you just weren't there.
Nice.
So now it's kind of, you've got kind of a strange world situation. I mean, I think that you played with a different team the first time, but it seemed like that was an awesome event. Was it Sudbury or North Bay?
North Bay.
North Bay. Everything I heard, it sounded like it was great as far as the crowd and everything like that. And then you had a Worlds that was canceled, and then you had a Worlds in a bubble.
Yep.
And so where's Worlds this year?
So this year we're going back to Prince George, which is in BC, and that's where our Worlds that got canceled was supposed to be, and
Oh,
where
that's
we
right.
had been, and
Yeah.
when it was canceled. So it's possibly a little bit kismet that we're going back there. But yeah, I think we're excited. I think we got out some nerves at last year's Worlds, and I think a lot of us weren't really sure what to expect going into that. And I think this time around we'll be a lot more prepared, and I think we should have a good crack at it. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Had you guys made it to Prince George the last time it got
We'd
canceled?
already been there for, I think, 2 days, and
I
we
think
knew basically
even the
once we
European teams
landed
came over.
that-
I think there were some teams that
Yeah.
didn't even make it there, right? Or had everybody gotten there, and then
I think everybody had gotten there or was on their way. Like there were some teams that were like in the air when they made the announcement.
that
it
would have
was
been the
canceled.
worst.
And so I know the Hasselberg team was in the air, and then when they landed and turned their phones on, like their phones just blew up, and they found out that they came all that way for nothing. But yeah, it
Dang.
was a weird time, and I think at that point it was strange because COVID was so new, and a lot of us thought it was a bit of an overreaction, although all the other, professional sporting leagues were canceling things, like the NBA canceled, right, and NHL and whatnot, but there just wasn't many cases. And then obviously, you look at it today, and obviously it was totally the right decision. Look at what the world has turned into.
Right.
So, yeah, I think we're looking forward to hopefully having fans in the stands in Prince George this time around, and just fingers crossed that COVID doesn't put a damper on things.
right.
Does BC have restrictions as far as attendance in place currently, or what's the status on that? Do you know?
I have not heard a lot of the details as to what the COVID protocols are going to be at the World Championships. They haven't really given that information out, and I'm assuming that's because things are kind of evolving in terms of provincial restrictions in BC, and so they're waiting to see to make a decision on that. We do know that our families have tickets and are hopefully planning to be able to attend, so we're hoping that it'll be full stands. We know that the Brier is happening the week before in Alberta, and they're supposed to be full capacity for attendance, so that
Oh, wow.
They
Yeah,
don't care
I think
about
that
COVID
could
in
be-
Alberta. I
Doesn't
don't think.
exist.
Yeah,
There's no COVID in Alberta, right?
yeah.
So
Yeah, the hoax hasn't made it that far north yet, so
No, apparently not.
that's good.
How are you guys? How is the team staying sharp between after the Scotties and when you hit Worlds? I mean, there's obviously not a lot of competitive curling going on with the Olympics happening, and then was there usually a slam in between Scotties and in Worlds, or I don't
No,
know.
usually it's actually
Just kind of.
quite a I can't even speak right now. Quite a tight turnaround.
Oh, sure.
It's usually only about 3 weeks in between. So this time we've
Whoa, that
got
is
a little bit
close.
more time because of the Olympics.
Because of the Olympics. Okay.
Mm.
Are you I mean, are you trying to play practice games, or is it just practice and you know your game will come around with once you hit Worlds?
Yeah, I think it's just some really intentional practices. We didn't have any events leading into the Scotties. We hadn't been on the ice for a game since the Olympic trials. So we're kind of used to that, especially nowadays with COVID and not being able to get together as often as we like. But it's just about really intentional practices, and we'll bring Val in to have like a great training weekend. Definitely tosses a bit of a wrench into the mix with Reed now going to the Briar and training with his own team as well. So just working around his schedule and being respectful of the time that he needs with his team as well. And
So is that
I
your
think we'll be
coach?
fine.
Sorry, is that your
Yes, Reed Carruthers is their
Reed
coach.
Carruthers,
Way to go,
yeah.
Reed.
Yeah.
How selfish of him to go to the Briar.
Well, I mean, it's something that we kind of knew was a probable situation.
Between
Their
either
team
being
was probably going to be in a wild card position regardless of how they did at provincials. So, yeah.
How long has the team been working with Reed?
Just in this new year. So yeah, he's been a breath of fresh air. It's cool to have a perspective from a player that's currently still playing. He's got a lot of like lived in experience, and so we can really take his opinion into account and really trust his opinion.
nice.
Now, at that level of play, is the men's game a lot different than the women's game in the competitive part, or is he just bringing in the men's game, or is it pretty much the same? He's just bringing in a different viewpoint.
It's similar, and then it's not similar. Like the men have a little bit more capability in terms of certain weight and obviously manipulating stones with sweeping. But when you
I think we've
break
all
it all
seen
down,
you.
it is
We've all seen you throw some pretty good weight out there.
yeah, but we're not throwing like 5-second peel. We're not throwing Gunlickson weight or Benoit Schwartz weight, right? So
Well, nobody throws that
nobody's-
weight.
yeah.
There aren't very many people that do, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, yeah, it's similar, and I think there's just a lot of trust that we have for Reed. Obviously, he's skipped for most of his career and has had a lot of success, or not skipped, but played back end. Obviously, he's third now for most of his career and has had a ton of success, and so we just know that his opinion is probably right most of the time, and then he's a bunch of fun off the ice as well too.
Yeah, is he still a teacher?
No, he's
Substitute
not a
teacher?
anymore.
No, not anymore. Does he tell you fun stories from when he was a teacher? I mean, that's all. My wife's a teacher, and she tells me a bunch of stories about the rotten kids that she teaches.
The teacher voice, I feel.
Yeah.
So
Got it.
maybe that's why we listen to him so much.
Interesting.
Nice.
Reed has always struck me as the kind of guy that he's very smart, but he also knows how to have those conversations where he can communicate well, I feel like, with just about anybody. So I think that he would be a good fit for most teams, but especially if you guys like him and trust him and are local. So congrats.
Yeah, thanks. It was extra bonus that him and our fifth, Kristen, are brother and sister-in-law. So they have the family connection, and so they had a lot of fun hanging out with each other all week too.
I didn't know that.
Where was the provincials that you played?
They didn't have to play provincials.
We did not play in provincials.
Oh
Canada.
yeah, of course. They're Team Canada.
Team Canada.
Really?
My bad.
Twice in a
No.
row.
Yeah, like 2 times in a row.
Yeah, well now I remember. Like, I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. You don't have to rub it in. Thanks a lot, dickheads. All right.
Well, yeah, we're all just a little slow here, South.
No, we just
Oh,
needed to be
honestly,
reminded.
That's like one of the best parts of coming back as Team Canada is we don't have to play in Manitoba provincials because
It's terrible for women.
it's
so hard.
Did you?
Yeah.
When you won the first time, you were a wild card team too, right?
Nope.
No? Did you guys want? You guys were Team Manitoba that year?
Team Manitoba. So are you talking about the year with
So the
Jennifer Jones or
no. So you won 3 times with Anderson, right?
Yeah.
So the first
When the first year that you won, were you Team Manitoba or were you Team Wildcard?
We were Team Manitoba.
You were Team Manitoba. Okay.
Yeah, we had won the provincials.
Got it.
And then Carrie was Team Wildcard in 2018, and I played her in the final when I was playing with Jennifer. So that's maybe where you're thinking of that.
No, I can't remember that far back.
yeah.
I barely remember what I had for lunch today, so I was just wondering.
Also, again, we're just a bit slow here south of the
Yeah.
border, so it's
Yeah,
fine.
I mean, we're just sitting
I
here.
think we do all right for ourselves.
we do,
really.
we do okay.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
where do you live? Do you live in Winnipeg?
I live in Winnipeg.
In
Beautiful Winnipeg.
Winnipeg.
What club do you curl in?
So our home club is the Gimli Curling Club. So that's where Carrie is. So we'll go up there and practice, or we tend to meet halfway in Petersfield, which is actually where Brianne lives. And then in the city, I throw kind of all over, but the Granite or Charleswood are usually good places to go.
Did we play Gimli when we did the MCA?
No, that's too far away for.
Okay.
We played.
You guys did the MCA?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the last year that it was full men's. The 125th year or whatever. I don't know. It's probably like 7-8 years ago now, wasn't it?
It was the year after you
Something like
won it is when I played.
Yeah. I won. Woo! Big
You
deal
won the
over here.
MCA?
he won the MCA.
Yeah.
Sort
Wow.
of. Sort of.
Well, that's
Sort
true.
of.
Sort of.
Yeah.
I was.
That's a fun story.
I showed up a game late because my flights got canceled to get there. So my team won the first game without me. And
Yep.
then I was going to a spiel in Germany,
Yep.
filling in for Chris Plies when his father was very ill. So I had to leave before the final.
They won 1 game or 2 games?
they-
Three-handed.
They won the first game and the last
and
game.
the last game.
Without me.
Yeah, because you're not important.
Because I wasn't that important. But hey, I won like 8 games in between.
You did win,
So,
but you did. I think that year Craig won a spot into 2 provincials.
I won 2 different provincial spots that year,
Yeah.
and I didn't get to play in
and he
either
didn't
of
get to
them.
play
Yeah,
in either.
didn't play either.
Kind of bummed about it, but
That was there in Ontario.
Northern Ontario.
Northern
I won
Ontario.
Also, I would have had a lot better chance in Northern Ontario, I think, than I would have in Manitoba. But
Yeah, that was probably before Jacobs was like really, really good.
that's
were
who
good.
we beat to get in.
Huh?
We beat Jacobs to get
Oh, you
into
beat Jacobs
the
to get
Northern
in?
Ontario
Oh, there you go.
provincials. But no, I enjoy Winnipeg curling. It's not my favorite city though. It's cold and windy,
What do you mean?
and
It's
it
full of
seems.
snow.
I don't know. I don't want to talk bad about your hometown. Forget it. I like it. I love the curling in Winnipeg. It's probably the greatest place on earth to go to curl, because you can just. I mean, there's a.
That's true. Like we played in like 6 different clubs.
Yeah,
7
something
different
like
clubs.
that. We didn't even play that long that year. We
Yeah.
still got to play in a whole pile of places.
Which
so.
St. Paul is your favorite? I forget. I always forget.
I like West St. Paul.
West St. Paul.
That's my jam right there. I love that place. Do you like East
Okay.
St. Paul or West St. Paul?
Do I what?
Do you like East St. Paul or West St. Paul better?
You know,
And I might hang up on you if you answer wrong. Just saying.
might be. I might have to say West St. Paul.
Here you
Yeah.
go.
There you
That's
go.
the right
Good
answer.
Correct answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I've never been to
It's
either.
so cute.
So
It's so
Yeah.
little.
Yeah.
You know.
You walk out the back door and you can see Edmonton, it looks like. I mean, there's
Yeah.
just nothing out there, man. So,
Perfect. Hey, I saw on your Wikipedia page it says you are a self-employed bookkeeper. What is like? Are you running bets on the side, or what? Is that more like accounting? Maybe I'm
No,
not.
I'm. Yeah, it's more
It's
like
called
accounting.
running numbers. It's running
Yeah.
numbers.
Running numbers.
Running
Okay,
numbers.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that?
Yeah.
We can't bet on any curling down here, so if you're taking bets, I know who to call now. That's really what I'm
Can't
getting
put it
at.
on- There's no
No.
curling. betting apps?
Cool bets is blocked down here.
Yeah, or geo-block down here. No gambling
What
on
about-
curling.
What about when PointsBet goes live in Canada with curling betting? Like, will that transfer down into the U.S.?
Probably not.
Good question. I don't know.
we don't have the sports betting in our state, so we can't even access
Right.
those apps. But there,
Yeah.
maybe if you lived in a sports betting state,
If-
you
if
could.
they're in
I haven't
Vegas.
heard about it yet, though, so I feel like I would have heard about it if it was
Yeah.
possible.
Is that so? That's a. Oh, I didn't even know that.
I don't know.
We've got to ask our other American friend, degenerate gamblers.
Yeah,
I've got one in mind that would know the answer.
yeah. I know which one you're talking about, I think.
Yeah.
Does his name rhyme with Derek Casper?
No.
No,
Nope.
it's not him. Okay, then I'm not. That's not who I'm thinking of.
No.
All right,
Somebody else.
perfect.
So who's gonna win? I mean, this show isn't gonna air until after the gold medal's over, but you got to go on the record right now. Who's gonna win men's? Well, you don't even have to answer women's because
Oh.
then you might make some enemies, and we don't want that.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. It's going to be tough once it gets to the Final Four, which they already have. So
Two.
Sweden and Great Britain have qualified, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Yep.
And then if
Uh,
Canada wins out, they're in.
Yep.
Believe so. Yeah.
It's between Canada, ROC, and the U.S. I think for the last couple spots.
I think that
I
if
think
Canada
there's also-
wins, they're in, and I think basically if the U.S.
US win,
wins,
they're
they're in.
Yeah.
So let's just assume that that's going to happen because that's the most likely scenario based on opponents. So let's say it's U.S., Canada,
Did you hear about the U.S. versus
Sweden.
Italy?
Yeah, well,
result?
yeah,
Like,
just
that was
shut
awful.
your pie hole.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Let's not bring that up.
Let's assume it's Sweden, Great Britain, Canada, U.S. Who you got?
My guess, as long as they're in different final or different semis, is I'd like to see like a Gushu Moet final. And it's going to be tough to see.
Well, they should be.
Or
How,
say who wins
how do they
that.
seed them? Because
It's probably
They-
1, 4, 2, 3. I would guess.
oh yeah, they're going to do 1, 4, 2, 3.
They
Right?
don't do Page in the Olympics.
It's not Page.
Does Scotland or I'm sorry, Great Britain? Do they only have one loss right now?
Yes.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
they're both
and-
at one
right
loss.
now.
Okay, but they beat Sweden though earlier today, I believe.
Did they?
Yeah, so I guess it depends on how Sweden finishes their week.
Yeah.
So
But
Technically, all Great Britain too, because doesn't Canada play Great Britain?
yes.
I think.
Oh, who knows? All right,
Doesn't matter. You decide.
just
we're
pick
not,
it. Just pick the.
we're not
I
going
can't
for
bet
seeding.
against my
You
country.
can't.
You
can't
can.
bet against the
And-
goo. Alright.
No, honestly, that team's so good. Did you see them play at the trials? Like dominant.
Mhm.
So,
Did you catch?
Yeah.
Did you catch Bruce winning every single game he played for
Every
like a
single game for
5
like-
months
Yeah, for 5
span?
months in a row.
last year too, yeah, I know. That's why I think they're definitely going to make it to the final. They're so good. It's wild, and they're so young.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my prediction, and I gotta take Canada. Even I just it's patriotic. I have
That's
to
fine.
go with my country.
That's as good a bet as any. Because I think last week Craig and I said that we thought it was going to be Canada and Scotland in the final.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't even know if we picked. A winner.
I don't
It
even
was
think
a
I
coin
picked a
flip.
winner. I
It
think I
doesn't
just
matter.
picked that those are the two
Both of
teams
them
that
are
were going to be
deserving.
there.
And they're two best teams over like the last probably 2.5, 3 years. So we'll see.
Yeah.
That's fine. What did you think of the mixed doubles? Like, I mean, Italy coming out of nowhere to surprise absolutely everybody was insane.
Very surprising. Although, like, when you look at the individual players, like, it's not surprising at all because Amos has always been super strong on his team. And then, what was the female partner? She was at our Worlds last year, and she was very consistent as well. So, I don't know. I'd never seen them on the circuit, but at the same time, they must play a lot in Europe, and there's quite a bit of a mixed doubles tour in Europe. So surprising, but also not surprising considering just like how well their team worked out there. They seemed to have their communication down and just really be calm and cool. Obviously, it was a pretty big heartbreaker for Team Canada. We didn't get to watch that last game of theirs. We were playing our Scotties final, and so we came off the ice and got the news that unfortunately they lost on that measure. But I mean, kudos to them. They didn't have a lot of time to prepare, and were really just tossed into it with out any, preparation. And you look at the other teams, they were selected, like almost a year ago. Some of them, I think.
Several months in advance. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we were probably one of the least in advance behind Canada.
December?
No,
No,
mixed double. Well,
Oh, mixed doubles
that
was
was in
before
like
the trials.
yeah,
That was
mid-October or
October.
something like that.
Yeah.
So how did you feel about? In no way saying Rachel and John shouldn't have been picked, but how did you just feel about the process? Because you would have been one of the teams at the trials for mixed doubles, correct?
Yeah, we were I think ranked 6th heading into the trials.
Your partner is
you
Catlin.
can't argue against them being an amazing team. You look at especially like John's history over the past 4 years playing, like he's played with 15 different partners for various events and always seems to do well regardless of who he's playing with. So that just speaks to his ability as an individual and also his ability as a teammate and bringing somebody in and making them comfortable and ready to play. But I mean, obviously Rachel's a incredibly talented shooter as well. So I think they were, in a way, a super strong choice. The selection process is definitely a little bit questionable. You could definitely tell they just, worked backwards from their choice in order to explain it away, which is okay. I think they just kind of got themselves into a little bit of a pickle with the way the rankings work. And I definitely feel for some of the teams that were at the top of the rankings and that, play quite a bit together and have worked really hard for the 4 years to put themselves into a position like they did and then to kind of be disregarded in that way was pretty tough to see.
So I'm not familiar with how they picked the team. How did they come up with Rachel and John?
They pulled it out of their butt.
Yeah.
Was that
Shannon's answer was
very diplomatic?
very diplomatic. Yeah, that was.
I don't even know what what Canada said about it publicly. Like, I'm not asking anything private that
Sure.
happened, but I just don't know what they said publicly.
What was their official criteria once they came, like as you said, they kind of worked back to it, but what did they come up with?
Yeah, so they used 3 different criteria to determine basically a way to rank the teams.
First and John.
And the first was your points. So your CMDR, your Canadian Mixed Doubles rankings points. And those were your team's points were weighted against the top team in the field's points. So, whether you had let's say 70 points and the top team at 100, you got that amount. So that's 70%, and you multiplied that by 3, which gave you the maximum value based on, so it was out of 3 points. Sorry, I'm explaining this terribly.
That's okay.
And
I was
then
told
they
there'd be
gave,
no
like,
math.
a way to,
Plus,
like,
she's a
Olympic
bookkeeper, so
and
you know what's going
world
on.
experience, with a heavy weight on Olympic experience.
Mm-hmm.
So that obviously,
That-
punched a few teams up quite a bit in the ranking. And then they also use the criteria of your winning percentage as an individual player. And that was definitely...
As an individual player on
interesting.
your 4-person team, or just the mixed doubles team?
Just your mixed doubles experience, but
Okay.
it didn't really take into account, quality over quantity. Mixed doubles, it really depends on... I feel like it should have been a head-to-head rather than your overall winning percentage, because just the quality of events that teams are playing in varies, and so it's not a true indication of your winning percentage per se. But with that said, I mean, you can't really argue against the fact that John and Rachel were a fantastic team to choose, and I think everybody was ready to cheer them on when they got selected and wanted them to do extremely well. Like,
Sure.
we knew that they would have the experience, and definitely were probably a great choice within the time frame to send with such short notice. So,
And mixed doubles is already a pretty volatile sport. Like, there are some wild swings in the scores and ends that happen. So any team could have done well or not.
Yeah. Do you think? I agree with what you said, that they're as good a choice as anybody could have come up with, and if you had to just pick one team out of everybody, is there a way that you would have liked to see them modify their selection process, knowing that they couldn't have a full trials?
honestly, I don't know if there was a better way to do it. I think they kind of put themselves into this pickle by hosting the trials so soon, or so close to the Olympics. Like, I think this whole situation can be avoided if we change the dates of our qualification process. Because, I mean, we all knew that COVID wasn't going away anytime soon and was going to be an issue for this year's Olympics. And so I think it
Certainly
just
was a
could have been
challenge.
some better planning involved to make sure that we weren't going to run into this kind of issue. So,
Got it.
For sure.
I think it would have been interesting if they could have found a way to, and maybe they couldn't have done this because they already had a trials field set, but, if they could have said, all right, we can't decide, but these are our 4 teams that it's between. So if you're not in those top 4, I'm sorry. Like, I know you had a spot in the trials, but you're not in because we weren't going to select you in this scenario. So while it might be bad for 12 of you teams, we're going to have 4 of you show up at whatever at the Charleswood Club on Wednesday afternoon, and we're going to play a triple knockout until we're going to lock the doors until somebody comes out victorious, with just having 4 teams or something like that. And maybe that's just not reasonable, but
I still think it was like Shannon said, it was just so tight. Like, their timeline was so tight. And yeah, I mean, certainly COVID wasn't really going away, but numbers were going down until Omicron took off, and then you had to cancel because Omicron was just so, it's like, It's bananas. I mean, I heard, who did I hear from? Maybe just through the grapevine, rumor mill, unconfirmed source, that, it seemed like Tracy was the only one who had COVID during the Scotties, and then I heard there were like 5 or 6 women that went home and tested positive. It's like, I mean, you can't. I don't know. Then if you have it that close to the Olympics and you go and have a mixed doubles trials, like all of a sudden you're in jeopardy of your mixed doubles team has COVID and can't go to China. Then what do you do, right? I mean, then you're really in trouble.
Yeah, like they would have had, if they were going to do it that way, they would have had to, make a split-second decision and get their, chosen teams to come somewhere short notice, probably right after when the trials were supposed to be held, to, make it through the window of, making through that 14 days testing. If somebody does happen to test positive, that they can still get to Beijing in that time frame. It definitely was tricky, and I don't know if they could have done it. So yeah, it's unfortunate because I think everybody would have wanted to play down for it. I think John and Rachel would have wanted to play down for it. But I think they were, in the end of the day, I think they were great representatives, and we were all really happy to cheer them on.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
It was a super wild couple minutes of curling, though, because your game was ending at the same time that their game was ending, and then there was another mixed doubles game ending that was coming right down to the wire that I think had playoff implications. It was nuts for a minute. I had 3 different screens going. I didn't know which one to look at, and it was all happening within like 5 minutes of. They all 3 games wrapped up within like 5 minutes of one another or something like that. So
crazy. You said okay. Scotty's question. There was like nobody in the stands until what, like the last 2 days? Did that become a challenge?
Yeah, everybody. They opened it up to the volunteers that were supposed to like work the Scotties, and then a certain amount of I think junior curlers and their parents. And then they also let us know that we could invite up to 12 people for our team if they could make it. So our parents drove down, and Val's mom, she had just gotten back from Mexico, and she just turned around and flew to Thunder Bay. And so we had a little group of fans that were there from Friday evening on to the final. So,
well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was great.
And I'm sure with an empty stadium, you can really hear your own fans.
Yeah, we could. I mean, honestly, it was
like, oh,
loud
that's Mom.
in there when they had 300 people, and the ceilings were pretty low. And so even that Friday night game, when we had the 2 games going at once, and Northern Ontario was on the next sheet playing the Fleury team, it was crazy how loud it was. Like, we could hardly hear each other standing 3 feet apart from each other. So I don't know what it would have been like with a full stands, but it was pretty cool. And I think it was awesome that we were able to get people in there, because it definitely amped us all up.
Yeah, nobody likes playing in front of nobody.
Yeah.
that's what we're used to.
I'm used to it.
Yeah, me too.
At least in the States, we're all used to playing in front of next to nobody.
That's a good point. Yeah, fair.
What? I lost my train of thought.
Enough curling. What do you do other than curl? Summer's coming eventually. You play golf? You a golfer? Cycle?
I am
Run?
not a golfer.
Not a golfer? That's fine.
No.
What do you do?
I'm not very good at it. And so that's probably why I don't play. I don't like to do things that I'm not good at. And yeah, I don't know. It makes sense. Most curlers are golfers as well, but I don't. I like to spend a lot of time at my cabin, which is on Lake of the Woods. And just hang out with friends and get out to their cabins. Lots of time outside and on the water.
That sounds perfect. Sounds like a great summer. You get your question back?
No, I forgot
No,
it.
you forgot it?
It's
Terrible.
gone.
Unbelievable.
I'm an amateur.
Oh,
So.
so am I. I don't know a whole lot.
Yeah, because we're professionals over here, Craig.
Well,
Get with it.
I showed up like after our guest, so
Without headphones.
without
And you
headphones.
had
headphones.
I
Yeah,
brought 2
perfect.
beers. And so only was able to open them because you had an opener for me. So
Oh, that's a win.
yeah,
How do you expect to get through
I
the
don't.
tape delay game with only 2 beers, Craig?
I don't know. We might have to fast forward because I know the first few ends and it was kind of boring.
Got it.
Just saying.
Okay.
But Shannon's riveted by something that's happening on the screen right now. So
No, I just need to see the last recommend. It's
Okay,
commercials
okay.
now,
Sure.
it's fine.
all right. Do you?
I'm just excited here in the U.S. because we can actually watch like a lot of curling, and
Yeah.
we never get to do that.
Yeah, except for we can watch the Briar and the Scotties
Right.
streaming, but we don't. Otherwise, we don't ever get to watch curling. And now it's on all damn day, every day if we want it. So it's kind of fun down here for a change. Some of the commentators are terrible, but that's a
Yeah,
different
That's true.
conversation.
Yeah,
Isn't it like Kevin Martin?
no.
Well, he's-
Depends on the game.
Depends on the game.
He's the one doing broadcast stuff that they're
Yeah.
showing over the air. But if you're watching like live, there's a service called Peacock, and
That's NBC's online streaming network.
and so like that's how
Okay.
you catch the games if you're watching live most of the time.
Right.
And so then it's WCF normally WCF appointed kind of commentators. So there's a couple people that do like the worlds, the same people, but
Or
They
some
have
guy
a-
that pull off the street.
they have 1 or 2 guys doing it that they don't know anything about curling, and it's
Yeah.
They-
Is it the British guy? Or,
yeah,
There's a British guy,
Yeah.
yeah.
and
he
it's
sounds like a
phenomenal.
soccer announcer.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
definitely a
it's-
soccer
Maybe they gave him a
announcer.
pamphlet about curling
He has to
when
be
he
a
walked in
soccer
the booth.
announcer.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but he
It's
did
phenomenal
not-
how little he knows about the sport, but
You can tell he's trying.
he's trying.
Like,
He's
the game-
probably a great dude.
The
but,
game this
you know,
morning, he did okay.
he did a
could-
lot better than he did
Yeah,
the couple days ago.
He could be a
but
nice guy, but like, man,
He's bad at his
he was-
job.
he was-
Well,
he was
he's bad at
He's
bad
bad
at
at
the
that
cur-
job.
he's bad at the curling
Yeah.
part of his job. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So what else do you do then? Do you besides just hang out at the lake and drink beers on the boat?
Or do you just work a lot?
In the summer or like
Yeah.
all year long?
No, well, yeah,
All year
when
long.
you're not curling.
Whatever. Yeah.
Okay, well, so working and then just training for curling. I don't know, like, I feel like that keeps up a lot of or takes up a lot of my time. I'm definitely a homebody, so I like to, chill at home, and I'm not super into like a big social scene or anything like that, but like to hang out with our group of friends and visit with our families and visit other people's dogs. We don't have a dog, so I like to get animal time with our friends' dogs. Yeah, that's about it.
If you could have a dog, what kind of dog do you want to have?
Well, I'm super partial to wiener dogs because
Oh.
my family dog, we had to put her down this past fall, but she was
Aw.
19 and she was a miniature dachshund, and she's like, honestly, I can't speak higher of that breed. She was the best.
Short hair, long
So,
hair?
even though I'm allergic to dogs, I would get
Oh,
another wiener
goodness.
dog. Just
There you go.
because.
Wiener dog. All right.
And dog it is.
Perfect.
That's fun. All right, we have a bunch of questions that we ask everybody, and usually they're the same, but every once in a while they're a little different. But so we're gonna fire away at these, and go ahead.
Go ahead. How did you start curling?
My dad, his family, they curled quite a bit. He grew up just outside of Toronto, and so he was always involved in the game. Never played it super competitively, but wanted us kids to try it out, and said,
it.
we liked it after one season, we keep going. If we didn't like it, we didn't have to play it anymore. We could choose a different sport. And my brother and I, we both liked it and stuck with it. So that was that.
All right, I have a follow-up question to how you started. How did you start with that sweet-ass tuck? Like, and how many people have tried not maybe not lately, but how many people tried to get you to stop tucking?
Nobody's ever tried to get me to stop tucking. No.
Really?
I definitely did not learn to curl in a tuck, but it's called the Manitoba tuck for a reason. So they're everywhere here, and so I think my brother started doing it, and he's older than me, and so I was peeking over at him, and I looked up to him and started just inching up on my toe little by little, and eventually I was full-blown tuck.
All right, second question, follow-up question. What about your release? You obviously have probably one of the most unique releases. Like you start it and then bring it back and then start it again. Where did you learn that?
Yeah, so it's my dad or my grandfather, he's good friends with Lino Diorio, who is one of the founders of Balance Plus.
Okay.
And so he, at the time, was working with some teams over in Europe and was teaching them something about this new straight handle release and winding it back and whatnot. And so my dad had him come to Winnipeg and do like a little clinic with us kids and taught us how to do it. I've definitely, made it my own as
Sure.
It's a little bit more unique at this point, but yeah, that's where it originated.
Nice.
Is there like a certain advantage to that type of release, or was it just?
I think like the original reasoning behind it was just the fact that you're trying to get your release to, react the same way down the ice, whether you're throwing an in-turn, out-turn. Usually, for most people, your in-turn curls a little bit more than your out. So it was just trying to match both releases a little bit. And now I would just say it's something that I do consistently both sides. So if you're able to throw the rock in a consistent way every single time, then
Do it.
should do whatever helps you do that.
Fair.
I should work on that more.
Yeah, you should.
You didn't have to agree that quickly. I mean, it's true, but you didn't have to agree that quickly.
No, it's true. Very true.
All right. Other than your home club, whatever you consider your home club, what's another club that you like to play at?
So I was thinking about this. I don't know if you can still hear me because
Yep,
yeah,
we can hear you just fine.
And honestly, I have to say the Madison Curling Club.
Yes.
Oh, the Madtown
Wow.
Double Down.
All right.
Yeah.
Some great times, like always some good snacks and great coffee, and there are lots of laughs down there. So yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites.
I have a great story about Shannon being at the club.
Better hear it.
Yeah. So Joel and I were doing a lot of streaming, and I was doing a game, and we got her partner Catlin to sit in for like the first part of the game that we were doing, and then he kind of coaxed Shannon in, and she came and sat down next to me, and I think it was shortly after maybe it was the first season you were with Carrie and company, and I was not very familiar with their team. And I was like, this is the whole, four skips coming together. And I'm like, oh, so how's it going for you guys? And she could not have been nicer. She looked over at me and she's like,
I remember this.
well, we're number one in the world. And I was just like, well, all right. So it's probably going pretty well then.
Probably going all right.
Yeah.
She could not have been nicer. She was probably just like, who is this clown?
And then I think
am
we
a clown,
completely
but-
forgot about the game that was
Oh,
happening.
yeah.
And then talked about other stories and other stuff. So
It was great. It was
That
fun.
was-
she could not have been nicer
Yeah.
about it, though. It was
that was
outstanding.
probably a pre-podcast episode to
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
we do now.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
We
Absolutely.
didn't do a lot of commentary on the games that were happening.
Yeah, we did
weekend,
not
but-
do a lot of commentary.
No.
Told a lot of stories that day. It was good.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Bonspiel and why?
So when you say Bonspiel,
Any kind. It doesn't have to be.
Is the Scotties like encapsulated in that?
No.
Or-
It's got to be like a weekend, like not a championship, but a spiel. Like
So
it could be a slam. It could be a toaster spiel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say it's probably like 3 big ones up there. The Banff mixed doubles spiel, the Qualico Classic or
Yep.
Rocky Mountain Classic, whatever they've called it over the years. Always a really good time. Split your time between Canmore and Banff. We usually get an Airbnb in Canmore and share it with another team, and just a really cool spot to have an event and lots of stuff to do outside of curling. And I definitely enjoy the mixed doubles spiels quite a bit because it's way more social than a regular 4-person event, and you get to meet a lot of new people. Another favorite would be, I guess, the Calgary Autumn Gold.
Okay.
Again, super hospitable club, and it's fun to stay in Calgary, a nice big city, and you can stay at the Westin, which is a really nice hotel, and a bunch of restaurants within walking distance. That's always great. And then the Players is also pretty sweet, downtown Toronto.
Nice.
All right.
All right.
Good answers.
What is a skill or talent outside of curling that you want the world to know about?
This one I had a hard time thinking. I'm pretty artistic, so I guess like my answer is always kind of like I like to draw, and I don't do it a ton anymore, but I like to do sketching every once in a while, like portraits and that kind of thing. So
Nice. She's a good singer too. She ripped it up at karaoke on Saturday night. It was pretty good.
Now, are you sure that she's a good singer, or was
100%.
it just?
No, she's. I don't even.
I mean,
remember.
like, was it just drunk good?
No.
I mean, I don't know.
No.
I wasn't there, so.
No, she was very good.
How do you rank your singing abilities on a scale of 1 to 10?
it's definitely, they've gotten worse as my curling career has progressed. I think all the yelling has definitely started to affect my vocal cords. But my high school, the high school that I went to, they used to put on what they called the rock show every year. And I know that sounds very
Awesome.
No, it does sound awesome.
right.
Yeah.
But it was a big production. Like they had pyrotechnics and like
Whoa.
almost like
Wow.
everybody got into it, and like it was actually a really good show. So I did sing in that throughout high school, and so I do enjoy singing and not just in karaoke.
So,
Alright.
so do you have a drink range you like to be in for karaoke, or is it
No,
all
I bet
karaoke
she's
all-
good
all the
without
time?
drinks.
I like to sing. My team will tell you that I'll be the first one to break out into song in the car and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's fun for me.
Cool?
What's your go-to jam on the way to the rink right now for the team?
Ooh.
Doesn't have to be the one
Yeah.
that you sing, but just one that gets played a lot on the way to the
Yeah,
club.
what's on the playlist right now?
We definitely switch it up quite a bit. But one that I really got into during the Scotties was an oldie. Well, not a super oldie, but Headstrong by Trapped.
I'm not familiar with that song.
It sounds
Maybe-
familiar, but I
maybe I'd
can't
have
think
to
of
hear
it from the top of my head.
Yeah.
I know
You
you're
have to play
okay.
it, and then maybe it'd bring back memories.
You're a
Like,
little
I
younger
think-
than us,
Mm-hmm.
but did
Yeah,
you
but
watch?
it's
Did you
not
watch?
like-
No.
it's probably
no.
something that you
no,
would
this
recognize
this is
as an
unrelated.
Islander.
Did you watch the Super Bowl?
Did I watch this? I watched parts of it.
Did you
I
watch the
watched-
Did you watch the halftime show and did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
We can be friends still.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
Nice.
there's a range where people under like 25 didn't understand it, and people over like 55
Didn't
50
understand it.
hated it.
Yeah. Okay.
Like my favorite niche of music is like 90s, early 2000s. So like
Yeah.
it was awesome. Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
Yep. We can still be friends. That's good.
Let's go.
I can't read them,
Yeah.
so
You
you
can't
guys
read.
go ahead.
All right. What helped you along the way to be a better curler? Throw and tuck.
Yeah.
Biggest thing
Tucking.
for me was figuring out like a better balance emotionally, and like realizing that curling wasn't everything, and that there's a lot more to life as well. When you're in juniors, things are so you feel like you have a time limit on the sport, so I feel like you put so much more pressure on yourself. So like every loss was just like this major heartbreak. And you kind of progress as you get older, and just realize that there's a little bit more to life. So when you lose a big game, you can learn from it and take it forward, but it doesn't have to like crush your soul in the way that it does sometimes when you're younger. So I think just making sure that I learned from those big losses or tough times out on the ice and bringing it forward and having that kind of mindset was a big thing that changed me as a player and made me progress a lot faster.
Nice.
Can you tell me a little bit about this is kind of off topic according to the questions, but what was your curling pedigree in juniors and like just out of juniors before you had all this success where you just dominate the Scotties every single year now?
Yeah. So I was a 2-time Manitoba junior champion, and then I lost the Canadian junior final 2 years in a row. So those are two really big losses that I carried with me for quite a long time. And that was when I was 17, 18, and then my last 2 years of juniors, we didn't win. And then out of juniors, I got back together with my team that I had played with in 2013 when we had gone to the Canadian juniors together. And we played on the circuit for a while, and we're kind of always in that like tier 2 gap, although they didn't really have the tier 2 going yet for that one slam. Right. Yeah, so we were in the mix, and our goal was always to just do well at the Manitoba Provincials and see if we could make a run at the Scotties, but didn't quite always get there. We were always just knocking on the door. So for a long time, I was just trying to figure out a way to break through. I definitely didn't think it was gonna happen the way it did. I was very fortunate to get picked up by Jen that year in the way that I did. It really kind of catapulted me forward. But yeah, it was also a little bit of a transition year for me too, because I had what happened? Yeah, I was a fresh university grad and was trying to figure out if I should go back to school and get another degree, or if I was going to make something out of this curling career. So yeah, it worked out really well, and definitely the way that I wanted it to. I think curling was always in the back of my mind for what I wanted to do on a larger scale. So yeah, things worked out for me.
I'd say.
Nice.
4 out of 5. World number 1,
like it, yeah.
most of the time.
Yeah,
Well,
most of the
you're doing
time.
all right for yourself, kid. Way to go.
All right. You're going to a bonspiel. Could be any bonspiel. Who is your ideal team? We have allowed guests to have 4-person, 5-person, 6-person teams. Like if you're going to a party spiel, you can take as many people as you want. Because, some of us have overserved ourselves on occasion.
They can be curlers,
non-curlers,
living, dead.
Whoever you want. Who's going on your team?
Doesn't matter.
You don't
And
even have
where are
to
you going?
skip.
Oh. So I did think about this, but I didn't think about more than 3 people plus
Okay,
myself.
well.
So my team. Well, I picked curlers for the players because I like to win, so I want to
Okay.
people that know what they're doing out there.
That's allowed.
Yeah. So for Skip, I picked Sandra Schmirler because even though I never got to meet her, she's legendary and is, from what I hear, or was an amazing human and would be awesome to play with. Then I picked Mark Kennedy because he's probably the best all-around third player in the world.
Nice.
So why not?
All right. I like it.
Yeah, then I picked Ben Hebert for lead because I think
Oh, Benny Heaves.
You gotta have a
Alright.
little bit of fire on the team.
And you're playing second?
Yeah. Well, the second is myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said. You're playing second. That's a good mixed team if you need
Yeah.
one, I guess.
It's a really good mixed
That's a
team.
really good next team. Yeah.
Where are you going to play?
Nice. Yeah, where are you going to play?
Where?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
Like, out
spiel?
of which club, or
What
like
spiel?
No,
are you
what
going?
what
Just
spiel are you going to?
Yeah, like,
You're going to a spiel. You're taking this team to a spiel.
Oh man.
Where are you going?
I think
Or are
we
you
gotta
just going to
be,
enter
like-
playdowns?
I feel like
Yeah.
it's probably
I don't
just.
know, that's
Yeah, I think we got to start small and then.
Where are you
just
playing out of,
beginning,
though?
Building on
Where
it.
could they play out of? Alberta?
no, you got to play out of Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan?
Yeah, it's
Sure.
with Sandra Schmirler as your
Sandra Schmirler.
leader.
I don't know.
You got to
I
be
mean-
out of Saskatchewan for sure.
Sure.
Yeah,
Fine.
yeah. Mark and I would have to move, and
There you go.
Oh.
make what-
Oh, we'll figure it
Yeah.
out. Don't worry about it. Great. Excellent. Okay. Last one.
Go ahead.
Me? All
Yeah.
right, I'll go. This is my question. I like it. It's dumb, but I like it. You're familiar with the baseball. If when a batter comes up, they have a walk-up song. You familiar with
Yeah.
this? Yeah? All right. If you had a walk-up song for curling, what's Shannon Birchard's walk-up song?
Honestly, it's so dumb, and it's something that like my old teammate and I used
Like
to
dumb ones.
joke about if we had
Yes.
like an intro song. So the beginning of "Crazy in Love." by
Ooh.
Beyonce and
All right.
Jay-Z. It's always got me going.
Like-
Just the beginning,
I like it.
and
Sure.
then yeah,
That was pretty good. Pretty good, like 10-second intro there, maybe 5-second intro. I like it.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
Yeah, that's a good answer. We've had some worse ones on the show.
Had some really weird answers.
we've
yeah.
had some
We
weird
have
ones.
had some really weird
Yeah.
ones.
But that's a good one.
Yeah, I like it. Who do you got for sponsors that you want to give a little shout out to?
oh god, quite a few.
So many.
Let's
when
see
you-
how
When
polished.
you're that
let's see
big of
how
a
polished
baller,
this is.
you're like you gotta have.
When you
Okay,
win,
let me
when
see
you
if
win
I
that
can-
much, let's see how she does. How NASCAR can you get? Yeah, come on, do it.
I want to say a big thank you to our sponsors, the Manitoba Métis Federation, Stanley Electrical. Want to say shout out to Kubota Canada, PointsBet Canada, Hardline Curling, and Apex Distribution.
Nice.
And then, I'll toss in our mixed doubles sponsors as well.
Do it.
Yeah.
Big shout out to AMJ Campbell and Prairie Sun Solar and missing one, Callaway Golf.
Callaway Golf.
Baller.
Woo!
Man.
Hook me up.
She doesn't even go.
I don't know.
I don't
Maybe
know.
she can get me a deal on a new driver.
Yeah.
I don't like a new driver. I like the new Rogue. Hook me up.
Whatever.
I'll even take an old Maverick. I don't really care. Well,
Golf stuff.
Golf.
Shannon, thank you very much for coming on. Best of luck to you at the World Championships against everybody except whoever we send. Has that officially been announced? Or did you just let the cat out of the bag?
I thought it was announced. That's what I'd heard.
I didn't know
Well,
that.
yeah.
Thanks for letting me know.
Well, the show's coming out in a week, so
If-
Might have to edit that
Yeah.
out.
I thought that they. I don't know. I heard it as a rumor,
Yeah, you're a
but
big
I didn't
dumb
know
animal.
it
That's
was.
what you are.
Huh. I'd heard that was true. I guess I didn't know that other people hadn't, and I guess I didn't know that it wasn't. I don't know. I still don't know if it's confirmed.
I had heard that too, but
regardless,
I wasn't about to say it. So
regardless of who goes, good luck against everybody but them.
All right.
And it can be a close game, and like if you win, you win. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it goes.
Okay.
All right.
go sports.
Yeah. Good luck. Safe travels. Good curling. Thank you for joining. We'll catch you again.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
Season 2, episode 10. That's it. Thanks to Shannon Birchard for coming on. Hope she does well at Worlds, just not against the United States. So you should probably watch the show and listen to the show. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, Apple. Find us on your favorite podcatcher. Otherwise, connect with us on social media. You can find us at Curling Nation at curlingnetwork.com. Got that right. I always mess that up. Otherwise, Twitter, Facebook, we're at Curling Nation. Instagram, we're at The Curling Nation. Venmo, we're at Curling Nation. If you want to send us some money so we can do something, I don't even know what we would do with it, but we would do something.
We'd probably buy beer.
We're gonna buy a bourbon. Thanks, Chris.
Bourbon.
Yo.
Bourbon. Snacks. So you're saying snacks for the next show? Is that it? All right. Perfect.
Yeah, we do that.
All right. Email the show. Let us know what you want us to do. Otherwise, for myself, Mike McDermott, Craig Brown,
Craig.
Joel Dietz.
Not Craig.
Yeah. That's it. Curling Nation. We're out. Good curling, everybody.